Welcome back to Growth Catalyst Hub. Today is day 23 and we are looking at the journey of the 30-day YouTube course, Turbocharging Your Career. On the 30-day journey, we are on day 23. We are looking at today's topic is how do you prepare for the top key interview questions? Interview is typically a very nerve-wracking situation, even for very seasoned campaigners, even mature people, even people at the senior level, there can be butterflies. So how do you prepare? A lot of that preparation has to happen a long time before actually the day of the interview. And while different interviews have different purposes, a lot of interviews surprisingly share common themes and common questions. It's the same set of questions being asked there. And if you prepare very well for them, you'll be ready with at least 50% of the preparation out of the way. So what are those questions? How do you prepare for it? That's what we are going to spend time today. Let's dive in. One of the most typical questions in any interview is, tell me about yourself. Looks simple, looks innocuous, but a lot of people, surprisingly, are not prepared for that. A lot of times they think that it's too simple to even prepare for, and therefore maybe they have not prepared, or they haven't really thought deeply about what they should be talking about when they're asked this question. Whichever way, they just ramble on and on and on, and the whole purpose of answering the question is lost. The whole purpose of asking and answering the question is, one, to ease the candidate into the interview. People know that those who are appearing in the interview are nervous, are very excited and fidgety, and they don't know what is going to be asked and so on. To calm down things, people start with these questions. That's one purpose. The second purpose is, of course, to get you talking and get you talking on a question which is relatively simple, and to also get to know about from your own words, while some of that is already there in the resume. I've seen people talking for 15 minutes continuously without stopping as answer for this question. That's not the purpose at all. Please don't do that. You should be ready with a 60 seconds to 90 seconds answer. 1 minute to 1.5 minute answer for this question. You should be ready with a 15-second background, your context, where were you born, school, education, and the current job that you are doing. Up to that 15 seconds, and about 30 seconds explaining exactly what you are doing. How do you go about doing your job? What is exciting in your job? What are you delivering in your job? And spend the last 15-20 seconds explaining to the interviewer why you think the opportunity that you are interviewing for is a great opportunity and why you are excited. So you will talk a little about your background, 15 seconds. You will talk a lot more about your current status, current situation, 30-35 seconds. And you will talk a little about the opportunity that the interviewer is putting in front of you, for which you are interviewing for. So that should be the structure that you should use so that you make the best use of answering this question. By spending the last 15-20 seconds on the opportunity, you are linking back to interviewers' requirements in terms of, oh, what is this candidate is going to do in my company? That is always running in the back of the mind. You are going to already answer that question. So use this structure, 10 seconds, 15 seconds on your background, context, 30-35 seconds on your current situation, current status, current job, 15-20 seconds in terms of what you think about the opportunity in front of you, why you are excited, why you are even interviewing here. That's the structure. So you should be ready with this 1.5 minutes kind of elevator pitch so that you can give it even in your sleep, so that kind of a practice will help you to do well in that actual interview. The next typical question that people are asked is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Tell me 2 of strengths, 2 of weaknesses, or some variant of this question. Tell me your top strength, tell me your top weakness, something like that. And surprisingly, many people are not prepared for this. In some of the interviews, I found that While the candidate was ready to talk about 3-4 of what he thought was his strengths, he thought he did not have any weakness at all. That was hilarious for me because all of us have weakness at the end of the day. All of us have shortcomings. And in an interview, when people are asking for it, you should be ready with whatever the answer is. The trick is in how you prepare for it. For strengths, people typically say, I'm a hard worker, I'm a team worker. All of us have to be in this day and age. We need to be working hard, we need to be working smart, we need to be working with teams. So that's not a strength at all. It's a basic qualification. You need to talk about your unique qualifications which helped you, your unique traits which helped you to deliver something in your current capacity. What did you use? I've seen people smartly saying, I look at every project and look at whom to delegate, who's the right person to take what kind of a role. And that leadership quality, that identifying quality as to who has to be delegated with what kind of a work has immensely helped me. These kind of projects I have delivered with these kind of incremental results over years. That is smart because then I can relate back to what he can do when he comes into my company. We will also talk about their ability to lead cross-functional teams, their ability to look at lots of details and remember them, their ability to, while working with the details, step back and look at the overall picture, their ability to put all these jigsaw puzzles at all the times and not lose sense of what needs to be done and keep many balls on air without losing control of all of this. All of these are important in today's context. And you need to tell what all you have actually utilized in executing things in your company so that you can cite with examples. There's no point saying that I have this strength. The next question I'm going to ask you is that give me an example. So you should be ready with that. So you should say that this is the strength and this is a strength because I have used my character, my characteristic trait, this personality trait like this in executing this project, this work in my company. That's the full way of saying strength. When it comes to weakness, it's a little more trickier because obviously you don't want to tell about your innermost fears and problems and weaknesses which can become deal breakers. There's no point. However, if there is something really bad that you are battling with, you might as well be upfront about it rather than the company appointing you and then finding it out later. There's no point. Absolutely no point. So you might as well be upfront in case there are significant challenges, if there are any. You should be prepared for that. You should be prepared for deal breaking also. But those are extreme situations. Coming back, typically the situation is that all of us have got some little vices, little weaknesses. Some of us get angry very fast. I do that. I'm a short-tempered person. I get angry very fast. But over a period of time, I've trained myself not to show that anger, to calm down, cool down, at least in professional life, in most of the situations. That can be a weakness, and I can talk about what kind of meditation I do, what kind of anger management methods that I deploy, and so on and so forth, if I were to talk about my weakness. A more acceptable method of talking about weakness is you can talk about your inability to do something to the fullest extent. For example, I've seen people smartly talking about their weakness as, okay, I find it hard to delegate fully because I'm used to doing everything myself. I've been promoted as a manager and therefore I find it very difficult to delegate, but with practice, I am beginning to delegate. Or I find it very hard to let go. And in my position as manager of 5-6 people, I need to let go. I cannot micromanage, I cannot get things done. And therefore I am practicing that. So pick up something, an area which you are actually struggling with. Many people might be actually struggling with, and talk about that because that's a real struggle so that your examples that you can give would also be real. Another way of looking at it is if you are actually having some bad issue and you are actually doing some steps, taking some steps towards it, you can talk about it. Like what I talked about, anger management could be one area. One of the person that I talked to in one context of interview, he was overweight and he was very carried about it. see, my problem is my overweight. It prevents me from enjoying life, and these are the steps I'm taking. This is the weight management practice that I'm doing. This is a diet I'm following, and last 4 months I have already cut down 10 kgs, but I have a long way to go. Absolutely candid, absolutely clear, practical. I liked what he said. So that's how you need to handle weaknesses whenever you are asked about strengths and weaknesses. You need to relate, remember, you need to relate the strength back to what the company is looking at. What are the traits that they are looking at? What are the qualifications that they are looking at? If you can connect back your strength to that, then you score even more points. Remember that. Another one of typical questions is, why do you want to work here? That's one question. You need to prepare for this. You need to be ready with what is the culture of the company, what do they do, what their products are, what their services are, how they make money. If you know a little more about the company, what are their current challenges, if at all you know about it. And whatever you can glean and know about the company, you should know and learn thoroughly. And you should be ready with why you should and you do want to work for them. You should have a prepared answer. For God's sake, don't say that I need a job, I'm jobless. That's the fastest way of getting out of there. So think about it. Think about your why. Why is this company that you want to interview is resonating with you? It could be that your current company is bad. It could be that you are not doing well in the current company, or the company is not doing well, and therefore you are desperately looking for another job. That may be the case. But also think about why this company. Is it because this is the only company which is offering you? That may not be the case. So think about all the reasons as to why you want to join and work for this company of all companies, and prepare that. It should come out very clearly that these are the 2-3 reasons, which is based on the culture of the company, which is based on the product of the company, which is based on the reputation of the company, which is based on the people saying that, it's a great place to work, and so on and so forth, as to why you want to work there. The other question that people ask, a typical sequel to this question, is, why are you leaving from your current company? You can talk about, as long as these are facts and figures, as long as you can keep a neutral tone, you can say what is happening in the current company. It may be that the company is not doing well. And if you are not doing well, I don't know whether that's something that you should even venture upon, poach upon. Don't. Talk about, in a neutral tone, what is happening in the company. And if, for example, your boss is the reason that you are leaving, your boss is a bad boss and you want to leave, don't even open the topic. Don't badmouth people in the company that you're working currently. If you are badmouthing the people that you're working currently for, my tendency would be, my thinking would be that if you are badmouthing your current people, how long would it take for you to badmouth me and my team now? That's how people will think. So don't ever badmouth your current company. Don't ever badmouth your boss. Very, very bad thought process. You can talk about what is happening in the current company. What are the reasons you want to leave? Of course, you want better prospects. Of course, you've heard about this company. Of course, you think that your abilities and talents and strengths can be better managed and utilized in this company. When you put it in that manner, it becomes a very positive conversation to have. The other typical question, and there are various ways in which this question can be asked, is, tell me a difficult situation that you faced in your work and what did you do about it? It can be asked in many ways. It can be asked as, tell me about a project you loved, positive. Tell me about a project you hated, negative. Tell me about a project where you really did very badly, very, very negative. It can be asked in very different variants and formats, but the crux of the question is this. Tell me situations in which you faced challenges and tell me how you went about solving for those challenges. That's all that they want to know about. So how do you prepare for this? We already talked about this. Use STAR method. What was the situation? What was the background context? What was the task? What was the problem that you were facing? What was the action? What did you do? your colleagues together, your team together, what were the steps that you took to solve for this problem? Or for results. What was the result? Did it result positively? Did it result negatively? And add what is your learning from all of this? When you add your learnings to all of this, it completes the entire steps taken and what you have imbibed. So when you prepare for this, think about the situations, and in any work situation, even in a student life situation, student project situation, internship situation, there are challenges that you need to solve for. Don't talk about very, very mundane challenges. My laptop conked off. It was 11th hour. I didn't know what to do. I went to my friend's home, took his laptop and did my work. Of course, you faced a challenge. Of course, you solved it. But that is not what we are looking for. We are looking for an organizational challenge, not a personal challenge. So talk about something pertinent. Talk about something which needed some thinking, which needed some cooperation from team members, which typically happens in organizations, and typically one needs to put one's best foot forward to solve those. So think about those problems, not mundane things like the example that I gave. So prepare what was the situation, what was the problem, and what did you do, and what was the result, and basis this, what is your learning going forward. Talk about that, and whether it was a best project that you had, worst project that you had, which ended up in a disastrous manner, but there are still learnings to take from that. So that is why the learning is important, though that is not part of the STAR, but remember to add learnings to it. When you prepare for the whole thing, you can, even the most disastrous endings of the project, you can talk about comfortably because you will learn from it and you know what to do if similar situations happen in the future. Let me summarize what we have seen so far. One, it could be about, tell me about yourself. It could be that question. It could be the question of what are your strengths and weaknesses. It could be questions like, why do you want to work here? Or the variant, why are you leaving the job? Why are you moving away from that company? And the fourth question, which we just talked about, in terms of, tell me about a situation in which you performed a particular function. It could be project delivery bad manner, project delivery great manner. It could be a particular task, particular challenge well done, particular task, particular challenge badly done, along with what your learnings are. These are the typical questions which appear in various variants and formats in many, many interviews. So when you are prepared for this, you are already off the way across for any kind of interview. Wishing you all the very best. I'm sure you like this episode. Please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. See you in our next session.